Hey Beverly. Yeah, right. This is 60 seconds of O3. Someone did comment on one of my images of Orion saying that Orion, the constellation, is kind of evergreen in the southern hemisphere, which I have to double check. I think you have to be closer to the equator, but it's kind of interesting. I don't think we can see this from the northern hemisphere yet. I'll pull up Stellarium and take a look in a minute. And of course, naturally, there's a satellite in view. I'm also going to quickly show off Death Valley just got their new weather station ready, and it's going to show you the forecast for the next 10 days or whatever is available. So this is all in Fahrenheit. I wonder if I can change that. I don't know if I can change this in this view. It's going to be just Fahrenheit, but yeah, it's going to be hot, but it's going to be clear until Tuesday, the what date is that? The 11th. So possible chances of cloudiness on the 11th and 12th. And there's like no wind right now, or there is 0.9 miles an hour. This is cool. I'm going to integrate this into Nina and save some of this in the image fits headers, which I've done as a test at home, but not for anything serious like this. In your rush. Yeah, it's just clear all the time. Clear all the time. Can you guys hear me? I just got like a weird warning from YouTube. Okay, good. The warning was that the audio bit rate was 0 instead of 128 kilobits per second, which I usually have it set to. So strange. Must be a false error. I mean, I went out because I cut the audio because I opened up my own stream in another tab just to check, and I do hear myself. I'm also eating candy, so I don't want to make you hear me chew chocolate. Well, for everyone joining, this is looking at the Orion Nebula from the Southern Hemisphere at the Kagga Remote Observatory. And I'm waiting for my rig in Death Valley to basically wake up, which I think it is right now. Oh, hold on. Close this. I'm going to open up the preview again. Yeah, we can see the Milky Way happening. So this is just waking up. So as soon as the Death Valley Observatory wakes up, Kamma stops imaging. So I think I said this a couple times. I am imaging when it's clear in both locations. I'm imaging like 16 hours a day. It's a lot of data. I've processed very little of it. Which step are you on? Yeah, so it's about to start autofocusing. So technically it did start. Oh, look at this swing. So, you know, it's a how long are the exposures? They have 60-second exposures, so you can see that it started swinging in the middle. So it's going to my autofocus location, which is like this part of the sky right here. Yeah. He said it's not fair they can see Orion and we can't see much from up here. Yeah, I was checking. I'm opening Stellarium. I don't think we can see Orion from here. I think it'll take a while. And I learned that Orion is, I think, an evergreen constellation in the southern hemisphere, so it's around almost all the time. But I think you have to be close to the equator, but to the south. So, like, if I look up Orion, I mean, it does kind of go. I think my time zone is a little bit off, but whatever. It does go up, so it does start to appear, and then there it is. So this is basically at KKRO now. Let's see, it's Los Angeles. This is the time zone there. So yeah, it's about 6 o'clock. You can see still, and Orion is about 34 degrees in the sky. So it's kind of high. It's fairly high. There we go. Which is interesting. You were thinking that people the opposite latitude would have the same issue to some degree. Yeah, I think like some of the stuff in their northernmost parts are evergreen here, but not for them. Look at this. Carina is on the east. Yeah, it's rising again. Yeah. Look at that. In less than 2 months, Carina and the rest of this region is going to be back in view. This is the Statue of Liberty Nebula. This is the Gabriela Mistral Nebula, Cosmic Cliffs. I'm going to zoom out and see what this is still looking at. Yeah, this is still going. And my other rig, if I can find my tab. Okay, so my other rig is imaging. So this is also at Kamma in South Africa. This is the SQA-85. It is imaging Mandel-Wilson 9, which you can't really see here because it's a dark and dusty nebula. But let me show you what this is. If you just go to my website, so it's this. So this is the Mandel-Wilson Nebula, Mandel-Wilson 9. So we're re-imaging this in monochrome with the SQA without any light leaks. So like all these light leaks. I do like this image, but I want one version where I didn't mess up the mosaic and there are no light leaks. So we're basically just redoing this. And Mandel Wilson is up in the sky in the southern hemisphere all year long. So this is a low priority project. It's going to take a long time, but it's going to be like a 12 panel. So 8 more after this, at least. What's interesting now is you know southern skies too well just because you have to manage the observations down there. Yeah, I do. It's been a really fun learning experience. I am enjoying all of these. You know, the LMC and then the SMC there. Small and large Magellanic Clouds. Yeah, 47 Tucani, 75 Tucani. It's just getting all of this. Yeah, like 6 months ago, I was like, what is that? What's over here? What? I can see stuff, the Christmas tree cluster from the southern hemisphere. So I've gotten somewhat good at it. Definitely not as good as I am in the northern hemisphere. But yeah. Light leaks somewhere in the setup. Yeah, so this is, let me pull up the observatory camera. So this is, I'm controlling 2 telescopes. This one is an SQA85. This one does not have any light leaks. Up until last month, this was a one-shot color camera. But now we have a TubeTech 2600 that you are familiar with now, along with the TubeTech LRGB SHO filters. The other rig, this one, imaging the Orion Nebula, is an Esprit 100 ED. I have been testing this for the owners at Kagga, Kamma, and I've basically just been getting it ready. And also, it wasn't, because of the light leaks, it is up for rental, but you can't really rent it for pay if you have massive light leaks. So this is the telescope with the light leaks. It doesn't. The light leaks aren't there anymore. That has been fixed. So this telescope is actually ready for rental. So if anyone's watching and want a telescope in the southern hemisphere, you know, reach out to Kagga, reach out to Sean, and you can take control of this from me, basically. This one has a QHY 268 camera, and this, I think it's a QHY filter wheel that had the light leak, but that's been fixed. It was just missing some masks. And it has some amazing filters, chroma 3 nanometer filters. Our other telescope is this one right here, pointing, you know, towards us in the north, Mandel Wilson. This is an SQA 85. Do you have the AFWL from TubeTech? I forget which one you got. Because the AFWL should not have any light leaks. Just naturally, they have gotten rid of it. The AFWM, the medium, may have an IR light leak. Yes, if you have the L, you're fine. It came with like the latest firmware. It's the M version that had some light leaks, but this was a QHY. I'm pretty sure it's a QHY. It could have been a ZWO filter wheel as well. That's giving issues. You can see all the C stars back here. There's a bunch of them. And then this is a C14. And then there's a Rasa 8, I think. Some really cool telescopes here. I don't have an observed peer cam here. The L has 7 filters. So does the M. But you have to use 36 millimeter filters, not 2-inch filters. I'll pull it up. Tech. It is on Agena, but I'm going to go to TubeTech here. Yeah, so the AFWM. Yeah, so the AFWM, the middle, you can have 7 36 millimeters, or 5 2-inch filters, or 8 1.25 inch, which is really interesting. So if you have like a 523 sensor or a 585 sensor, you can get 8 filters. One can be a dark filter. And then the AFWL is only 7 by 2 inches. HA. So we have some S2. Sulfur 2 just blocks so much light that, we can see the trapezium, which is really nice. Is this in focus? I think it's in focus. I'm just zoomed in so much. I've got the Running Man up here. You were doing left of Seder with mono, and pretty much nothing shows up in O3, completely devoid of data. Left of Seder. How much data do you have in O3? Because there are very few objects that glow in O3 a lot, but they have O3. You just need a lot of data. See, look at this. This is pointing up. What you imagine? Okay, it's still autofocusing. Yeah, there's some areas that don't have a lot of O3. Like, I'm imaging the Flying Dragon Nebula. I got 2 hours of O3 on there, and then I looked up some images that other people have done. There's like no O3 there. Alrighty, we are off to imaging part of the Blue Horsehead Nebula. Don't know if we're going to see anything. This is going to be in monochrome, LRGB. Once the luminance filter comes on, we should be able to see something. I'm just checking my errors. Okay, so right now, for a few minutes, I'm imaging both in the northern hemisphere and in the oh, look at that. It stopped. So the southern hemisphere stopped. So it's interesting. I can only image from one hemisphere at a time, which is fine. And this one too. This one also just ended at 6:15 a.m. 3 minutes ago, and DVO started imaging 1.5 minutes ago. So there's about a 90-second break. I know, no dual. So I could probably push it. So what I have set with all of these is that they shoot from astronomical dark, so astronomical dusk to astronomical dawn. So I could add a couple of minutes, and I control that in the plugins with my target schedule. I can control it 2 different ways. So in my exposure template, like if I select like HA, so the acceptable twilight is astronomical. So I can also change this to nautical, which will go another 30 minutes, I think. But I also have a limit in my sequencer where I only loop until astronomical dawn here, plus 10 minutes. So if I go back to my other one, let's see. This one, yeah, so it loops until astronomical dawn plus 10 minutes. So that's when it stopped, basically. So I can increase this and it'll keep going. So I can get one, but it's kind of funny how there's just a 90-second gap where I'm not imaging anything when it's clear in both locations. Nina doesn't do more than one instance. Yeah, of course it does. You can do as many as you want. I have a whole video on that. It's fun if you have the gear that can handle it. Hey, GR Astro. Okay, so this should be giving us something now in about a minute and a half. But we can enjoy the Milky Way rising, and I'll also show the other camera from the observatory, if I can find it. Oh, I don't know if I should show it. I think somebody's sitting in front of... Is it? No, hold on. Un segundo. There it is. Okay, so here's the other pier cam at Death Valley pointing south. So we can see all these telescopes. A lot of these are still asleep, and we can see the Milky Way here. So comparing that to my view here, so this is the Milky Way here. This is my telescope. You can't see it here. It's like somewhere over here. And the moon will be rising in about, I think, 45 minutes, 50 minutes. Oh, I mean, the Nina's doing one instance in all these 3 telescopes, but if you wanted, you can do multiple instances. I will link you to the video. There we go. And in the SQA, I guess I can go back and show you what it may have imaged if it's in the history. This looks neat. This is part of the Small Magellanic Cloud. Yeah, it only goes back so much. Look at that, this is Small Magellanic Cloud in H alpha. Sneak peek at what we are going to process. But I'll just take this away because we don't need that anymore. My guiding is a little bit wonky, but it's okay. It's about 0.70 arc seconds. Here's our first image tonight, Blue Horsehead Nebula. You can see the 2 eyes here. So this is a one of 4 panels. Let me show you what that panel would look like in the viewer. Is it? I guess 6 panels. I'm doing 6 panels because the field of view is super tiny. There we go. Yeah, so basically I'm doing, I think, this. Something like this. So that I can get the entire Blue Horsehead. Hey Tex, welcome. No need to apologize for leaving. This is a live stream, not a hostage negotiation. Not yet. I'm grabbing yesterday's all sky time lapse. So I'll play that in a few minutes whenever that finishes downloading. There you go, guiding us settles about half an arc second. And we're about to get our first blue filter image. How's Orion looking? Yeah, it'd be nice if a meteor goes by. We'll see. I think when it's the peak of the Perseids, I'll just leave this running. Oh no! You know what I just realized? I showed off the weather station here, and it's predicting some clouds on the 12th and the 13th, or the 11th and the 12th. That's when the Perseids are peaking. So that makes sense, right? Why it might be cloudy even in Death Valley, because we might get a meteor shower. Orion has gotten too high to be imaged, but this is what it looked like about 10 minutes ago. 12 minutes now. Nice trapezium. If we look at the observatory, it is getting brighter. This is a telescope, so it went to sleep by itself. This is the other telescope, also went to sleep. Yeah, it is too early to know. Yeah, definitely, especially in a place like Death Valley. But it's the danger of the job. You can see a bit of Demariant Nebula. Which one is that? Oh, M43. You know, it's been a long time since I've heard it be called Demayron's Nebula. Did I read you correctly? Yes. Yeah, this part, yeah. I think it's Demayron. Let me Google it. Demayron's Nebula. Okay, here's the proper spelling. If I can. And it could have different names. I'm just getting that from Wikipedia. I'm gonna take this out. I'm getting lost in my own tabs. Yeah, they usually don't. I'm like me, I didn't. Like I know that's M42 and M43, but every image you'll see will designate it as M42. Here's blue in blue horsehead. HFR is a little bit higher than expected, but it's okay. It'll autofocus in about 20 minutes. It's also like the temperature shift. So if you look at the equipment, camera is running at about 60% power, getting it to 5 degrees Celsius. I think that that one person from Discord will be happy that my minimum is not 0, even with offset 70. It's not raining here, but it is cloudy. Lost in my own tabs and astronomy story. Yeah. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windows open, and I am not going to count how many tabs I have open. Although this one is just one tab. All right, I'll post a screenshot of one on Discord of one window. All right, I put it in general. Oh yeah, like the weather around Florida. I think that part of the United States, it is tough around this time. Hey Tyler, risky business. You have so many tabs open. Don't click the wrong one. I know. Do I have any? Yeah. So these are all the windows here. I still have Affinity open from yesterday. I'm safe. I don't have anything illicit open anyway. But I do need to close some tabs. I keep clicking through the windows. The pillars of creation? Well, you could be in luck. So I'm not live stacking actually. So I'm just taking single exposures now. It's a little bit more of an involved process doing live stacking with monochrome data, but I am going to work on it. So M16 is going to appear in 3 hours. Let me see if I can make it come up higher earlier in maybe an hour instead of 3 hours. Give me 1 second. So that's my M16. I have M20 and M18. So if I just turn this to low priority, will that switch? It won't. It's probably because of some kind of meridian flip. Give me 1 second. It's even set as high. Okay. Let me turn off M8 and M20. I think it's just trying to finish this project. Nope. Okay. So it can't go to M16 before midnight here, so which is in 3 hours. So I don't know if we'll get to that in the stream today, but we will try. Yeah. It's not imaging for an hour. I wonder why. I usually just let target scheduler take control. Yeah, it's just low, so yeah, that's right. It's trying to wait until after the meridian flip, and it's trying to prioritize things that are setting first, which is going to be M8 and M20. Uncle, you just shared the latest pillars capture in Discord. I do have data of the pillars of creation from the southern hemisphere, about 20 hours, I think, 24 hours. I gotta check. So I'm gonna combine them all at some point. Where is it? Where's Discord? I lost my Discord. Oh, here they are. There you go. I see it. Oh, that's this wonderful pillars of creation. LX 210 inches. That's awesome. And I love your M27. Can I show them on the stream for people if you're okay with it? It'll come to this tab. I'll wait for you to give me the yes or no before I. Okay, cool. Thank you. Let me bring it up. I lost Discord again. Where's my window? Okay. Here it is. By GR Astro. This is amazing. With the detail here. Look at these globs. Globulus. I forget what they're called. Box. I think Bach Nebula, right? Is that right? And I'll also share your M27, which is also awesome. There it is. Super work. Bach globules. Thank you, Beverly. Yeah, this is amazing. There you go, Tex. You got the pillars. Better res than Astroban. Can you put the link in Discord? I'll open that. Oh, the observatory at Kamma closed. Bye-bye. Close that. It's autofocusing, so let's see. Bog globules, new noodles name. I like it. Okay, so we have GBL. Well, GBBL. Huh, interesting. Okay. I'll let it autofocus. I'll just say that when I'm streaming, Discord messages get muted, so I have to consciously check. Ooh, 7 days ago. This is cool. Nice. This is super awesome work. With the 585 MC. Awesome. And then you have the M27, which also looks cool. Yeah, that's the way to do planetary with the giant SET. It's only 50 minutes. Amazing. Cool work. I'll post your Astrowind in the chat if anybody wants to check out your images. If only a sea star could see that much detail. It could see that much detail if you find the right object. M16 is kind of small in the sky, so it's not the best object to get super detail on. Here's Blue Horsehead and Luminance. Hi, Erica. We're looking at space from Death Valley. Hey, Emajax. I am back. I'm also doing is that the devil hands? You just can't see it. Photometry? No, I mean, no. I'm going to say no. I want to do more photometry, but I don't. I do have access to CDK17 that has photometric filters. A lot of people at my club uses it for photometry. I don't, but I would like to one day. Is that in Phoenix? What is Death Valley? It is in Nevada, in western Nevada. So I will open up their observatory. So this is in Death Valley Observatories. If you look at the location, I will open up, let's see, maps. I forget, this is not my usual. So it's in Amargosa Valley. It's over here. It's Death Valley. So where's Vegas? There it is. So it's like somewhere over here. It's in western Nevada. I have the address, but I don't know exactly where on the map by heart. So it's not completely out of everything because we have Las Vegas right here, but it is in a Portal 1 location, which really helps. And then we were looking at the Orion Nebula from the southern hemisphere. This is from the Kagga Kamma Remote Observatory, where if we go here, Nature Preserve. So Kagga Kamma is in the Nature Preserve, so it's like somewhere over here, that other observatory, like at the bottom of the world, down under. It's cool. Yeah, so I have a scope here and one right over here. What's the distance? Wait, how do I look at distance between those two? I'm missing. There's a way to see distance. I am blanking on how to do that. I'll look it up. That's close to Groom Lake. Which one? The Death Valley or Kagga Kamma? I am not in either of those places. I am in Boston, right here, where my skies are not as good. So I'm controlling remote telescopes in both those locations. Here's a look at those telescopes. The mine is like here in the shadow. You can't really see it. So here's an upward look. So this is my telescope here. cool. Groom Lake in Nevada. Yeah, so not too bad. And the way they pick the location here, even sometimes when the forecast says it's going to rain or be cloudy, the mountains here, they keep it all away, which is amazing. So there's been a couple times where forecast was like, "Hey, we may not open," and then it turned out to be clear all night, which is super cool to me. Remote telescopes, yes. I have videos for you. Hold on. I recommend just go, looking through my channel for some of my long form videos, but I'll share the two videos covering KKRO and DVO. So if you want to just look at those, that's the Death Valley, and then this is the Kagga Kamma. What's insurance look like at the place like that? I'm assuming there's a way to insure your equipment, or do they offer stuff like that so that you don't get insurance through the observatory? Normally, you'd insure them through your own homeowner's policy as like an attached rider. They're supposed to cover this. You have to talk to your insurance company, your own home insurance company, and they'll give you information. I am not an expert at this, so mine is just getting covered through my home insurance. But the people at DVO have insurance for their own stuff, their own observatory, and they try to make sure that nothing really goes wrong. So yeah, clearly not kept up with my content. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for joining, Erica. Sounds good, GR Astro. Thanks. Thanks for joining. Thanks for sharing. And talk to you soon. For everyone else, I'll be here for another couple hours at least. I wonder what's the value of all those telescopes at a remote site worth? Probably a lot of money. Like my gear here. If you watch my video, I said that they're brand new, worth about $7,500. That's this one thing. This person has this one is an Edge 8 with I think an AM5. All of this is probably like 10K. This is probably like 10K. It's a lot of money. See ya, Erica. It's a lot of money. And what I sent here is my own gear. The one at Kamma, we are renting. So it's me, Dave, and Chris, who are members on Discord and friends. So we got together and rented a telescope in the Southern Hemisphere. But I think the worth of that rig is probably still like $9,000, $10,000. So yeah, these are expensive. The moon is coming. The moon is coming. Look at this person's what is that? The flat panel. It's being lit up by the moonlight. Scope capacity. So this one, what they told me is can store about 60 telescopes. So this building. So they made another one, presumably the same size. So probably another 60 telescopes. But when you're talking about all those telescopes, yeah, it's a little bit hard to see. But a couple of these scopes, I think maybe this one, a couple of these are C stars, so they are cheaper. Like there's a couple of C star S30 Pros, S50s. I think they have like a Raspberry Pi or a Mac Mini attached to them. So even then, they're only, I don't know, like $1,500, $2,000 at most. So it's not all like $10,000 equipment. There's both expensive and cheaper gear. Can we see some C stars here? It's hard to see. Oh hey, last night's all sky time lapse is here. Let's see what that looks like. See if we spot any meteors. Probably not, but we can see a giant bright moon coming up shortly. You can see my telescope zooming around. Woof. Look at that bright moon. And eclipse. And eclipse over. There we go. Cool. I love this software, All Sky. It does this for me automatically. Oh my god, I don't have to do this every morning. I wake up to a nice live stream, a nice time lapse every morning, which is nice. Yeah, nice time lapse, even if the moon is good. I can't believe Mead has the audacity to go out of business. It's their own fault. So they refused to change their business model. They refused to try and compete with others. They were just stubborn. Mead and Orion. Mead went out of business twice, right? Because the first time they went out of business, Orion basically absorbed them, and then the company became Mead Orion or Orion Mead, and then Orion made the same mistakes. You haven't even fired up the S30 Pro since getting a real rig, other than to update it. Yeah, it's tough, right? Like when you see the quality of one of these things, the image quality you get from one of these, it's hard going to a C star for real data. I still use it because of outreach, so I I go to star parties whenever I can, and the C Star S30 Pro goes with me. It's just so easy to use, and sometimes I'll just have it as like a companion rig right next to what I'm imaging. Usually when I'm testing gear, it's good for that, just to sit next to me. Or when I'm traveling, like I did to Acadia a couple weeks ago. Couldn't take a real rig, but I took a C Star S30. Hey Otto, welcome. So yeah, being a photographer, I knew I wanted more quality than the S30 Pro. Yeah, definitely end up using mine as a companion. Might as well have them both going. Yeah, might as well. The C Star S30, like, don't even worry about equatorial mode. Just leave it on Alt Az, turn it on, let it image stuff. And if you haven't done outreach, just like I recommend just like setting up on a sidewalk one day on a busy street with an iPad, image the night sky and just show people walking by what you're looking at. I'm a total introvert, except when it comes to like outreach. I'll go and talk to people. Let me tell you about my Lord and Savior, space. I'm going to get something like it at some point for travel. Yeah, Beverly. I remember what were you trying to get a couple of years ago? Like when we met, there was some other smart-ish telescope. Blanking on the name. Yeah, Lazy Nights definitely works. Yeah, sea stars are pretty wild. Yeah, I know. The sea stars are, I've said this before. Sea stars are a gateway drug to an empty wallet. And somehow I got addicted to Astro without a sea star. Before I started this when I had my Motorola Razr phone. So that was a long time ago. Oh, Vista. That's right, Vista. I don't know if you saw the Discord, but they have a new thing under a different name. Do they? No, I missed that. Yeah, I haven't been able to keep up both because it's been really busy, which is awesome, and I've also been really like busy in terms of activity in Discord, and I've also been busy not being able to look at a computer. But interesting, they're trying it again, huh? New product was the name of the URL where you got the update files. Uh oh. Sounds like Beverly needs to do a conspiracy video. Your dark side is at a county park that closes at 10 p.m. Every cop that come through at 2 a.m. is always amazed at what I'm doing. That's awesome. What does something like that cost? It's the first question. I know, yeah. So, yeah, the S30, especially when I got the S30, like when I was to tell people it's $350, their minds used to be blown. The S30 Pro is a little bit different because it's like $700 now. It's getting to the more expensive side. I went out with my Vespa 3 a couple of weeks ago, costing $2,500. People are like, "Oh yeah, we can't do this." You've asked on the ads you keep seeing how it's improved on the Vista, and they're currently ignoring me. Yeah, they're like, "Oh no, how do you block Beverly?" You have evidence. That's right. Yeah, yeah. I didn't mean it as like a conspiracy. I just couldn't think of the word. A takedown video. They just stop calling it a smart scope. Yeah, call it a fancy spotting scope. Both S30 Pro and your real rig amazed. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not annoyed by you. And also, like this company, if they're really trying again to try and get people to send them more money for something that's not going to be good, you'll be doing the world a service. Oh yeah, I'm with you, Imaject. Like tell people to look up. Yeah, I do that too. Like people don't do that anymore. Yeah, they'll see something bright and think it's an airplane or something. They're like, "Oh, just a bright star," and I'm like, no, that's Jupiter. You want to take a look? Hey, Pawn Sauce, is this where everyone hangs out at night? Yeah, this is where the party is. Plate solving. Where's blah here? So we're looking at the Milky Way. We're looking at the moon about to come up, and the moon making a nice shiny shadow here on this wall. Yeah, that's great, Beverly. Yeah, yeah. A lot of people think that because you're in the city, you can't really do anything. So when I do outreach in the city, and we're looking at planets, and they're like, even in the light pollution here, I'm like, yeah, like planets don't care. You can always look at the moon. You can always look at the sun. Autofocus. This thing is supposed to autofocus every 40 minutes. Wow, this time is flying. Just want to check. Oh no, I changed it to every 4 exposures. Yeah, that's why. Okay, hold on. I gotta change this. This was a mistake on my part. I've been switching between every 40 minutes and delete this, and on HFR increase I'm just trying to like figure out what would work best in Death Valley. So right now I'm on my test to do every 40 minutes. I'm gonna switch back to HFR increase in a couple of weeks. I don't want it to autofocus that often, especially not on 3-minute subs. Your coworkers want you to spot the flag at Apollo landing site. I have to explain resolving power and actual target size. Yeah, that's the other thing, right? People can't. That's a common argument that flat earthers use. Like, hey, how come you can't see the flag on the moon from here? You know, the same reason you can't see, the Empire State Building from Los Angeles. It's too far away, and also the Earth is round, so it's the curvature will stop you. I want to save this before I forget. I'm sorry to break it to you, Beverly. It's wound. Explain the targets are light years across. The flag is 10 inches or something. Yeah. I don't think they're going to get that because I think most people don't understand what a light year is. So, like, once you start getting to those numbers, like, even my brain, it's really hard to comprehend. Like, what is a light year? Like, I can't even comprehend how big the sun is. It's like 900,000 miles across. Like, what does that mean? Buzz light year they'll get. So when you're like it's light years away, you're like it's like 6 inches away. To infinity and beyond the curve. 150 times bigger than our sun, Seder. Yeah, that's the other thing about sizes like that. It depends on who you're talking to, right? When you're talking to like a non-physicist, non-astrophysicist, non-astronomer, when they see size, they think it's like width. Like 150 times is going to be 150 million miles, right? Is that right? Something like that, yeah. But like to look at astrophysicists, they're going to ask you, like, when you say bigger, do you mean mass or do you mean size? Sometimes it's both, but other times it's not. Like a neutron star can be 8 times the mass of the sun, but only the width of Manhattan. Either Kansas or New York. Yeah, Tyler, I like that. It's if you can compare it to something that they can actually experience. See you, Niraj. Thanks for joining. Good luck. Good luck outside. What's everyone imaging tonight? Earlier, I was imaging this thing, the Orion Nebula, and as Tex pointed out, the Meron Nebula, which is M43. My other rig in Kamma was I cut out because I had to sneeze. Was imaging the small Magellanic Cloud. They've both since stopped imaging. And this one is imaging the Blue Horsehead Nebula in LRGB. So yeah, this is red. This was luminance. Yeah. Did blue have some data? And then about half an hour, this should switch over to M8. Which panel? Let's see. I forget. It'll switch over to panel 2 of M8. Is that exciting? Yeah, I guess panel 2 is kind of exciting here, so we'll get there. I do need that data. I'm trying to actually complete this M8, M20 project for paid members because I promised a data release, and I haven't been able to image anything here for the last week because of the moon, so I'm just starting up again. So cool. All right, so about to finish an exposure, saving. It'll be in the red filter. Hey, Anton. If you're using the L Ultimate and L Synergy filters, you can use DB Extract, which is a nice PixInsight script. Also exists in Cyril. I think they work the same way. It'll split out the hydrogen, oxygen, and sulfur from your images into separate files that you can then combine later. IC5070 with your North American Nebula. In Fetus, you're going to stack and see how the light pollution frames can be salvaged on both of those and the Wizard. Cool. Good luck. Looking forward to seeing those. Yeah, let me. I think I have a couple of videos showing them, but I'm gonna do more processing videos. Let me see. Yeah, I'm about to link to a video. Pixel math. Yeah, I'll do more processing videos. When I release the M8, M20 data, I'm planning on doing one. I just don't do a lot because they tend to not be very popular. So the motivation to do processing videos aren't really there. Sometimes they get attention, sometimes they do not, like at all. It's Are you using PixInsight or Cyril? I guess I should have asked that because I linked to the PixInsight version. I actually don't think I have a Cyril video showing DB extract. But for Cyril, it's in Cyril, so you go to the Get Scripts section, and it's DB extract, so DB extract, and then in PixInsight, if you go to the video I linked to,
Capture emission nebula.
there is the website. So just opening up my own video here. So I posted a link to the different scripts that I use. So DB extract is here. So you just include this in the repository within PixInsight. So these are the scripts that I used in this video. Yeah, and if you're using Cyril, it's inside Cyril. So let me open up Cyril. I'll show you. So Cyril, oops. So get scripts, DB extract. So it's this script here. And then what that does is, so you select, your HA03 filter, which would be your L ultimate, and then your S203, which will be your L synergy. You click on extract, it does pixel math, and it'll spit out it'll actually spit out 4 files for you. It'll spit out hydrogen alpha, oxygen 3, sulfur 2, and another oxygen 3. So you'll have to combine the 2 different oxygen 3 filters, and then you'll have SHO to work with. Doing some gaming while you have the Caesar on the driveway. I know. I used to do that pre-child. I mentioned it a couple of streams ago that I stopped playing video games because I had to choose. The moon's coming out. So bright. Is it in my view here? Not yet. It hasn't reached my telescope yet, but look at this. I'm tracking the moon. Yeah, I didn't think I could stop too. I was definitely addicted. I get addicted to video games pretty easily, so I had to really force myself to stop. I uninstalled everything. And then I used the birth of my child as motivation because I knew that I wouldn't be on the computer for that long, which helped a lot with the withdrawal. And then I got addicted to playing online chess. And then I forced myself to stop that because if you look through my video history, you'll see like there are weeks where I didn't publish anything. That's because I was playing chess. Thanks. I do go around telling people how strong I am. I'm glad you acknowledged that. I appreciate it. Ooh, we got a Ducati. That's cool. One of my wife's rules is to never get a motorcycle. It's because my dad had 2 when I was growing up, and he got into accidents with both of them. So I told her, and I was like, "Hey, I want a motorcycle." And she's like, "No." Yeah, she does. That's why basically she doesn't want me to get hurt, which I'm okay with. I don't really want one anymore. I wanted one when I was younger. I'm too lazy for a motorcycle now. Let me sit in a comfortable car seat. But that's cool. I have a friend who did car racing, whatever that's called, F1. But I don't know anyone who's done motorcycle. That's cool though. Dragging knees in corners. Do you still have your kneecaps? Cool. Yeah, I'll check them out. I'm gonna go look now. Volume down. Oh, and I'll watch them later. I have your channel, your playlist open now, just so I remember later on when I come back online. I'm just checking on the time and when it's going to switch. To do that, I go to my target scheduler here. So it's about half an hour left. Okay, no problem. Funny motorcycle thing though. So your Canadian husband was visiting in Florida, and the first time he saw someone not wearing a helmet, he actually got super anxious and shocked. That's cool. That's good. Safety first. So we're trying to teach our son now. Safety first. You see dumb people riding without helmets. Some don't even have sunglasses on. Really? I feel like that's just uncomfortable. All that wind in your eyes. You get constant dry eyes. Yeah, agree. Right, dress for the slide, not the ride. That's what motorcycle people say, which is really good advice. $166 miles an hour. Did you go back to the future twice? That's cool and crazy. My car can barely hit 100 before it starts vibrating. Wow. Yeah, I'll admit I've never really been like a vehicle person. I have a friend and coworker that I work with who knows everything about every car, which is nice to have because if whenever I have any problems with my car, I'll be like, "Hey, ideas?" Yeah, that makes sense. More stable it is. What if you go too fast and then you take off? How do you stop? You'll be in space before you know it. I think that was a plot in Fast and the Furious 10, right? Did they go to space in a car? Yeah, those movies have gone from somewhat realistic to absolutely like fictional, like sci-fi. He does have a car in space. It's from a long time ago. Your new car is in so much better shape than the old one. Yeah, you have been having to watch your speed because I'm going way over the limit and don't even notice. Yeah, yeah. That happened to me when I went from like my old, super old Corolla to like my first Camry. You just don't feel it. They are superhero movies now. That's true. Superhero and super funny and supernatural because how many other characters came back to life except for um forgetting the main guy's name, Paul somebody. Oh my god, why can't I remember the name? Yeah, the one who died for reals. I keep going to Paul McCartney, but that's not it. Paul. It's not gonna come to me. It's past midnight, so brains off. I know I could Google it, but that's not as fun. Walker. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Paul Walker, that guy. I pulled up the screen just to show that it's a little bit warmer at Death Valley tonight than it was last night when it was around 25 degrees Celsius, I think. So this is 30 plus. Not too bad though. Not bad at all. Here comes the moon to ruin the evening. Oh, it's not as bad tonight. It's a waning gibbous. Anyone trying for the Falcon 9 crash on the moon on Wednesday? I think it'll be cloudy for me. Let me look up the weather. Oh, no, not too bad. Depending on the forecast, it could be partly cloudy or clear. Oops. I think it'll be a big flop too. Yeah, it's gonna be on the bright side of the moon. It's like impossible to see any kind of impact flash there. But if it's clear, I shall try. I wonder if the LRO is gonna be over it, the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter. If it'll be able to see anything. If anything has a chance. If it's clear, I'll try an astronomy story. How did you know the name of my memoir? Unfortunately, the moon will be below the horizon for Death Valley. Otherwise, I would point this there, which probably would have had a better shot because it has a much lower view of the horizon. Hey Kenny, you have anybody with an Edge 8, and we're going to see if we can. I'm going to try to see if it's clear out. Yeah, nice. I have an Edge 8 too. I was thinking about either that or just my 131F. I do have access to both a 24-inch f3.5 Dob, and we have the club 17-inch CDK. I don't know if that'll be able to do anything, but I'll ask them. Yeah, good luck. Good luck on Wednesday. Speaking of Wednesday, at midnight, which is technically Thursday at midnight Eastern Standard Time, I will be live streaming again from Death Valley as part of the Stand Up to Cancer campaign to try and raise money for cancer awareness. I'll post the description should also have a link to the event invite on Discord. So check that out, but I'll also post it in the chat. If I can figure it out. That means if I can find my tab. Oh, I didn't put it in there. Huh. Open up Discord. One event. Copy link. Okay. Okay. All right. That link there is an event invite on Discord, but it'll be live streamed on YouTube, and also an invite to the Discord server if you're not already there. Hey, real Dan Bell. I may have answered this, but I'm looking at a picture and it looks like all the other cameras would be the way of your camera taking pictures. Yeah, it does kind of look like that, right? But it's not. So if I pull up this view, you can see in this view, it looks like, like this one is pointing that way, this one is pointing this way, this one is pointing this way. They're all at a similar level and everything is pointing upwards. The only thing you have to do is make sure you don't point low enough that you'll hit the horizon, but everything else they're not in the way. It just kind of looks like it, especially from my angle of my camera here. This is a really warped view because this is a fisheye lens. But these two are like side by side. This is side by side. Not this one looks higher than this one. This one looks higher than this one. It's not it. It's just an illusion. It's an illusion, Michael. I met your buddy with the Edge 8 last week. Oh, Red? Oh, that's my camera that you just put the mouse over. Yes, this is my telescope. I have a all sky cam here. Yeah, Red's Redder. Cool. Yeah, he was awesome. Yeah, he got to test out my Style 33. Cool. Didn't realize you were friends, but welcome. He may have actually mentioned you. But yeah, he's getting a Style 33, so excited about that for satellite tracking. Oh, thanks, Paul. Hey, Paul. Welcome. How do y'all pick the gain setting? Are you whatever? Are you a whatever feels right type of person, or a scientific perfectionist dealing with ultra fast scope? And the amount of saturation that occurs is crazy. So Paul, here's the gifts, yeah. Coming here from Spider-Man. Oh, how was that? My wife and I are sorry, Tyler, I got distracted by Spider-Man. I'll answer your question. My wife and I are trying to plan to go see that at some point. We're trying to see if we should get a babysitter and see it at night, or play hooky from work. Which I don't think anyone from my work is gonna watch, but that wouldn't be the first time we play hooky to go watch a movie. It's been a long time. I'll say that we haven't really gone to the movies since the pandemic. Amazing, that's great. Is amazing Spider-Man? Let me go back to Tyler's question. So with the gain, I normally go with the Unity gain. So I'm gonna pick out the ASI 2600 MC, which because I know they have their charts online. So if I go to, where are your charts? Right here. So these are the charts that you should look at and see where Unity gain is. So you'll see this here, the read noise at 100 Unity gain. The read noise drops from about 3 electrons all the way down to like 1.4-ish electrons at high conversion gain. So at Unity gain, you get the best bang for your buck in terms of low read noise and good signal. So you'll get the best signal noise ratio boost at 100 gain. So I always pick whatever the Unity gain is. For my camera, which is the TubeTech ATR 2600M, which is the exact same sensor, the Unity gain is at 100. The camera on this rig, which is a QHY camera, the Unity gain on this is, I'm gonna turn it on, is 56, I think, if I remember correctly, if it turns on. There we go. Yeah, it's 56. So you should look up your camera, look up specs. They should have spec sheets like this, and look at where the Unity gain is. For the cameras that I test at home, I also use a tool called SharpCap where I can do a sensor analysis. If you look up any of my videos where I do a sensor analysis, I can verify whether or not this chart is actually real, because it'll tell me whether the Unity gain is 100 or not. And I'll link to one of my videos. I have a bunch of them where I do the sensor analysis. So let me find one. Yeah, so the ATR 2600C, which is a TubeTech color camera. So my first camera reviews, I did a full sensor analysis there. So yeah, I don't just go willy-nilly, pick what gain works for me. Just stick with the Unity gain, and that's all I need. But for this camera, this is my all sky cam. This one I did willy-nilly because I don't really care. I'm not stacking this. I'm just getting this for just to see what I can see in the sky. So this one, I'm way over Unity gain. But again, because I don't care. Okay, for Orion, do you want less? Less gain? So my recommendation is just keep the gain the same, because when you want to take calibration frames later, it's easier to organize and remember, because you don't have to remember. So that's so like gain and offset, pick what you have and just stick with it. You can change them, but just know that anytime you change gain and offset, you're gonna have to change your darks, your flats, and your biases, because they all have to match. For me, I always do Unity gain for whatever camera, and then usually I pick 70 offset, but I'll go higher if I need to. But 70 has worked for me really well for basically all the cameras I've tried. It seems to be a good starting point for all my cameras. Super helpful as you have a 2600 MC. Cool. I have one of those too. It's a really nice camera. You have the 2600 MC Duo paired with the Rasa 11. Ooh, that's nice. Unity blows out the core for Orion, for example. Wow. What is your exposure time? In that case, like I would do like super short exposures instead of messing with the gain, because you're either going to give up signal or you're going to have more noise than you'd want, or that more noise than you'd otherwise benefit from than using Unity gain. Yeah, like Paul says, shorter shots. Go as low as like 1 second if you need to. Orion is super bright. I'm doing 60 seconds now, but I'm going to do an HDR edit on that later. So I'm going to switch it to like 5 seconds, 5 second exposures at some point to get the stars, the trapezium for reals. Beverly did an HDR composite where he had short exposures for the core and longer for the rest. Yeah, that's the way to do it. HDR. Speaking of HDR, I decided to live stream today instead of finishing my video on HDR solar eclipse processing. I will force myself to do this tomorrow. So no live stream tomorrow, even though it's clear at Death Valley. I'm going to finish this video. I'll publish this to patrons and paid supporters on YouTube on Monday, and hopefully publish this to the public Wednesday or Thursday. I'm just trying to get it to the public close to the solar eclipse, which is on the 12th. Not too early, not too late. I do not understand the YouTube algorithm, but I'll try to feed it. Yeah, between 10 and 60. Yeah, if you're getting data, in like 2-second exposures, try that. Yay! I taught people something. I try my best. I try my best. Wait, did this change? What did this change to? Woohoo! We're doing Lagoon Nebula now. So this is panel 2 of Lagoon. So we should see some narrowband data come in. Love it when the moon is not here. I can do all the filters. Not that I couldn't do narrowband before. For the Sea Star, I was so happy when I saw them provide lower exposures. I think you can go as low as like half a second, I think, now. Because I'm looking forward to doing Orion this year. Doing super short exposures. Along with longer ones for the rest of the nebulosity. Also, an eclipse reminder, on August 28th, there is a lunar eclipse, not a total lunar eclipse, but a lunar eclipse, which will cover both of my observatories. What is this? Just heard an ad make sound. Yeah, it's a partial lunar eclipse. It's gonna be like a big coverage. I think from South Africa, I'll see what is happening. Wow, wow. Timeanddate.com. I use your website without ad blocker, and you do this to me. So I'll get 92% there, 92% here, 92% there, give or take. Yes, cool, 92% everywhere. So if it's clear, I'm going to try and live stream starting here, going to here at home, and then ending it here. I don't know how that's going to go because my scopes, remote scopes, aren't really set up to do lunar imaging. I got to figure that out. I wonder if I can borrow someone's Sea Star. And just trying to stop by and say thank you for all the work you do on Cyril and your scripting. I found your channel maybe 2 weeks ago. You're a great teacher, and I'm learning all. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I try to share what I know, and what I tell people is that I make these videos mostly as like notes for myself, because I know I'll forget. So like the tutorial I worked on here. Like this is, I developed this method in Affinity Photo by watching my own video in Photoshop from 2 years ago because I completely forgot what steps I took. And then I translated all of that into Affinity Photo. So I'm glad it helps other people because it does prove that our brains do work alike. So we should see a disk because the Earth is flat. Yes, Paul. We will finally prove the Earth is flat. Borrow Texas. I hope he gets clear. I hope he gets clear skies, so he can see it himself. Maybe take some photos and share it with us. I'm gonna put out a call to both Death Valley and Kagga Kamma and see if anyone has a sea star they can lend me. I'll pay for a night or two or something. There's a ton of great astrophotographers. Naz is always quick to help us newbies. I try. I try my best to help people because I just want to watch the world learn. You don't have a good transcription-based SOP generator. What is an SOP generator? Son of a pear? Peach. Sop. What's up? Standard operating procedure. What's up? Yeah, same question as Beverly of what? Serial operational program. Serial of PixInsight. Ooh, look at this area. This is like the outskirts of M8. Which is pretty cool. And then the satellite here kind of just like pierces through here. HA, yay. And then the cluster here. All right, time to do some autofocusing. You can see my telescope is now flipped and is now pointing south. So it is, if we open up the, is it here? No, this one? Yeah, the moon. I'm pointing like somewhere like over here, which is still far enough from the moon. If we open up Stellarium, if we look here, you'll see M8. It's over there. You can see if I open up the angle measurement thingy, I am currently 81 degrees, which is farther than my 65-degree limit. For a while, for my oxygen 3, I had 130, but now it's set to 110. So to shoot oxygen, whatever I'm shooting has to be like on this curve here. I don't know. Let's see, 110. Whoa. Curvature of the Earth, so freaky. Anyways, I think the answer to your question, Tyler, is I don't think we have any recommended transcription-based standard operating procedure generator. But it would help to know what for, I guess. Maybe we do. Oh, that's cool. I didn't realize you had your degree in marketing too. It's always good to see people working in the field they studied. I am very far from what I studied. All right, I flipped this so it'll get M20 when it's done with this one in about 40 minutes. Cool. Minor in astronomy. Wait, I'm not getting degree level money. Minor in computer science. Paul. I kind of also I did minor in computer science, but my requirement was like 2 beginner computer science courses. It's kind of weird, but I have my degree in criminal justice. Fun fact though, I did get asked if I want to teach an astrophotography course in the fall. I'm releasing it now before I have any information, so I may have just jinxed it, even though jinxes aren't real. I was in federal law enforcement under Obama. Yeah, I was never like an agent. I was always a computer nerd, so I worked in a computer lab, but it was for a federal law enforcement agency. I will I will provide information in the Patreon Discord later. I had top secret security clearance until 2016, I think. 2017, 2018, one of those years. And now I'm back on a government watch list for revealing that in a YouTube live stream. They definitely are. They are. They are. But I'll say I'm really glad I'm not in that position anymore. I haven't been in that position since 2012, so it's been a long time. More viewerships. People from the NSA and CIA watching me. He's like, hey, how did I get to 500 active live stream viewers at the same time? Don't worry, they're just bots. Yeah, this was during President Obama's first term, so everything seemed good back then. I don't think you can. I don't think. Yeah. No comment, Paul. No comment. I will comment in private later. They're huge pictures. Huge. I'll say it is kind of funny. I'm right next to a wall. It is kind of funny though. My telescope is like one of the last ones to get hit by the moon when it rises, so I get a little bit of an extra shield. Like even this one has the moon here on here, so it's a bigger OTA, and like every other telescope has coverage. Big league pictures. Pretty cool. Yeah, they have staff that live here. They have some. They have four main folks here. I think Francisco lives on site or a little bit off site. Nicholas, let me pull up their website again, so I can show you their team. Here, yeah. So it is. So right now is just these four folks. Juan was my initial primary contact. Nicholas, he's been joining the streams recently. Marcelo, who's also been joining, and Francisco, who's like a machine. Somehow he installs all these things, and fixes things so quickly. He's the one who helped me figure out my filter wheel issue a couple weeks ago. But somebody's there at all times. They also manually open and close the roofs, so it's not like weather based. So there is somebody who has to do that. I'm taking a job in Death Valley, but we have to live there. So Juan actually lives in Argentina, so he flies over every once in a while to help with the observatory, help set up and stuff. And I think same with Nicholas as well. Not sure about Marcelo. what would it cost to rent a scope? Can you do 1 month at a time, like a reserve? So at Kagga, you can. I think I was saying that the telescope that I used for Orion in here, which is an Esprit 100 ED, this telescope is actually up for rent at Kagga, so you can reach out to them and see how much it would cost to rent. So you can do it month to month. At Death Valley, if you go to their cost page, they do have, let's see, there's a page somewhere here where they do have information on renting telescopes. Give me 1 second, let me try and find it. Okay, classic, this is new. Cool. He's also a cool guy. He's also named Juan Swordfish. He's providing personalized sessions to learn about stuff. Weather, discover facilities. Oh, equipment, not there. Would you like to rent equipment? Yeah, so here you go. So there's a list of stuff that you could rent per month or per hour. Like this Skywatcher Esprit 100, you can rent for $25 an hour, or this thing, 12-inch, this 12-inch reflector for $50 an hour. Another 12-inch with chroma filters for $50 an hour. But I think if you want to do like monthly, like several days or weeks, you contact them and they'll give you a rate. And then I don't know how they do it here, but at Kagga, what they do is they'll set up like a Google Chrome remote desktop and give you the credentials. So you log in. So here I'm just logged into Sean's Gmail account basically, and I remote in using Chrome RDP. So it could be similar here as well. I haven't tried this, but if you are interested, reach out to them. You can tell them you learned about it from my stream and see what information they give you. Yeah, go crazy for a week. And as you've seen from the forecast, it is clear all the time until the peak of the Perseids, at least. It's been amazing. I have so much data, but also like not a lot of data because there's not a lot of darkness right now. So in my boom clouds, yeah. you order, you rent for a week, and then you have 6 nights of clouds. That's how it's gonna work. But I also kind of want to, like, one business idea I have was to also rent out like a second pier with telescope, and rent out that telescope like on a weekly or monthly basis, as both as a way to like some additional income, but also as a teaching tool for people, because I show people, Nina here, like my Nina skills I think are fairly advanced, if I can say that. Um, no, that doesn't sound very humbling, but I my Nina's pretty advanced. But in order for people to practice, they can't really practice on the what I'm showing you. A lot of people learn by doing things. So like if I can have a second rig where I can be like, here, you go in and you can play with it, where you're not going to mess with my imaging, and I can hop on and help you learn yours. That would be a way to, I don't know, that's a super long term planning, because all of this costs a lot of money, and we're trying to move and buy a house and all that fun stuff. I think you should be able to, right? If it's not possible, then that's such a big downside of the MC Air. But I assume you should be able to connect it to a computer, and it'll detect it like a regular camera. I know Beverly has one of these too. I don't know if Paul has one. Have either of you tried controlling it with another software? I don't have one. I still have never used the ASI Air. I was in contact with ZWO. They said they were interested in having me test their new upcoming ASI Air, and then I haven't heard from them since early June. So I'm just gonna assume it's not gonna happen. You can't, huh? Interesting. That sucks. Is it like they're just forcing people to use that as an anti-air? Damn. Then that's like a big reason to, for me at least, to not get the air camera and just get the camera and the air separately. A lot of degrees for the nighttime. You're talking about the temperature? 28 degrees now. It's getting cooler. The humidity is at 9%. And when the air camera came out, I did reach out to ZW asking if they would send me one to test. Like, I don't want to keep one because I'm not an air ASI Air user. Um, this was, I think, over a year ago. They were like, "Yeah, sure," and then nothing happened. Same thing happening with whatever air they wanted me to test. I don't work with ZW as much as people I think. You went all in with wanting to build a C-star type automation with real camera and scope. Maybe they'll make it possible one day. Nina is where it's at. Agreed. Like, if you want automation, like, Nina is the way to do it. Like, my thing here is completely fully automated. It shuts down in the morning, and then in the evening it wakes up, and then at sunset it starts doing all these things. And I was away for 4 nights or 3 nights, 4 days, to Acadia earlier this month, and this thing ran beautifully. I came back to a ton of data. 36C in Arizona. That's hot. Yeah, Tyler. I hope there's some ASCOM because like all these things are supposed to be ASCOM compatible. So I don't know. I wish I could say for certain. You're not living where you hear the sound of music. Yeah, Ascom alpaca would also make sense, but who knows? All right, we should be seeing a H alpha exposure come in less than a minute. It does take a little bit to save and display. Long exclamation. Must connect wirelessly with alpaca. In that case, then it'll work with Nina. It's just a little bit more annoying. Yeah, that's a disappointment. Can't connect over USB. As good as wireless is, nothing will beat stability of an actual physical cable. But I understand people want less cables, fewer cables. I wish I had fewer cables on my rig. And I'm gonna post the invite to the August 6th event again, um, for the live stream charity. So you got it. Okay, let me check Discord. so lazy. If the air doesn't expose the sensor over like USB-C, like the 2650 Pro uses the alpaca. Okay. Yeah, Nia talks to alpaca. Okay. I read the first two paragraphs, Paul. Yeah, okay, that seems to match with what we're discussing here. So interesting. You have the idea of a pro level C star like you built. Now you're learning in the field, which is wireless is nice though. Yeah, wireless is nice in the field. Definitely. Most definitely. Because you're writing app Claude, answer your question in the context of my app. Oh, so let me read the rest of this. The live Astro angle, since this is your primary rig. Yeah, that's Cloud for you. Interesting. You can connect to Nina wirelessly through Alpaca for your live stacking, Paul. Will your app do monochrome live stacking? That's a lot trickier. I've been working on that for a little while. Not a full app, but just a script, a headless script. I have not finished it. Not even close. But I want to start live stacking some of these streams at some point. Because when I turn the live stack on here, it'll only do per filter. Actually, I can do add color combination. Yeah. I should try that next time. I have not actually tried this one, so that might work actually. Cool. Sounds like a plan. You use iPhone and iPads when you shoot the stars. Yeah. Yeah, being able to use mobile devices with the screen is super helpful. Your metrics are beating Cyril. Nice. With live stacking, yeah, I think I've said it before, right? Like Cyril has live stacking, but it's not amazing. That's why I always default to sharp cap when I do live stacking. Telescopes are 100% good for mental health. If you need a prescription, I will write one as not a doctor of anything, but as a spreader of space information. What do I think the best OAC stacker is? Definitely SharpCap. The SharpCap has been doing this maybe the longest out of all the apps, if I think about it. So they have a lot of cool things. SharpCap has, I think, the only planetary live stacker, which is really cool. Which I hope to use again when Jupiter and Saturn are in a good position for my backyard. Yeah, as Beverly said, just like anything that's good for mental health, there are moments. For example, if you're trying to use Go-To on your camera and it disconnects over and over again, and you have no idea why, and it turns out it's a firmware issue. Oh, that's true. Yeah, SharpCap doesn't work on Mac. I guess it doesn't, right? Yeah, yeah. There's like so many astrophotography related apps that are Windows only. It's interesting. I don't know, Beverly. I think it was like a dream I had. Somebody I know is having a lot of problems with the Air camera. So it's the firmware. I know it's, it's yes, it was strange. I'm glad that was resolved. I'm glad it was just a firmware update that fixed it. But having to deal with it is not fun. Yeah, those days are behind you. Look forward to new days with new problems. Sorry, it's past 2 a.m. now. This is when I start becoming pessimistic. Telescopes are good for your mental health until you look at your bank statement. Why would you look at your bank statement? That's not the telescope's fault. The bank statement is bad for your mental health. Nothing to do with telescopes. Just just saying. Next time a bank statement makes you sad, call your bank and ask them why they're doing this to you. Make sure they don't read what you purchased. Just look at the overall number. Thank you. Yeah. I will always stand up for telescopes. They did nothing wrong. Look at these telescopes. Do they look like they could ever do anything wrong? Hey, the moon is touching my telescope now. Took a while. They are, yeah. I mean, you don't even have to buy two. You could buy a bino viewer. You could have one telescope with a bino viewer, and it'll do the same thing. Like I'm super nearsighted. I need to be able to read what's on the moon. I guess the only people that would feel harm from telescopes are flat earthers. So I guess it's not good for everyone. Is SharpCap for live stacking only? No, SharpCap is like a full-fledged software. Like Nina, you can control it. You can do guiding on it. You can do a bunch of other stuff on it. But I only use it for live stacking. I'll use it to control my mount from time to time, but I also use it for sensor analysis. It has a really nice sensor analysis tool. So when I test cameras, I'll use it to make sure that the chart that I showed you earlier is true to whatever gear I'm testing. They have other cool tools too, like polar alignment. So yeah, SharpCap is more than just for live stacking. It's cool. Can't do anything wrong. Then why do people have so many issues with meridian flips? That has nothing to do with the telescope. That has to do with the meridian. Why does the meridian exist? If the Earth is flat, why is there a meridian? You need another camera and a new ASCAR V ring. So you might do this. Cool. That sounds like a good idea. Can you stack a folder of existing lights only? Yes, you can. And that's basically how I do live stacking with SharpCap. Oh, you might actually enjoy this. I have a video on how to live stack with SharpCap your C-star data. I am going to get you a link. It's an older video. I'm lost in my tabs again. Where is my thing? There we go. There we go. Okay, so where is my window? Okay. Yeah, check out the video when you can. I show how to do a folder level um, live stacking. So you can just give it a folder where all your lights are, and it'll just stack that. And when you're using like a C star or something like Nina, you just tell it where Nina's saving those files, and it'll live stack those. It's pretty neat. It's called the feature is called folder camera. So it just monitors a folder. Monitors a folder. I don't want to send 2600. Oh, Paul, are you talking about sending a remote telescope? Setting up a remote telescope? 585 is not good enough. I agree with you. One of the options we had at Kagga was a 585 monochrome camera, and we declined it for an IMX 571. Hey, Jan. What about just a regular stacking? My 2600 MC lights. Yeah, so you just have to, like the MC lights, the 2600 lights are going to be in a folder. So just point SharpCap to that folder, and as the images are being saved, SharpCap will pick it up and live stack those. Yeah, Paul is working on an app for Apple, which should be cool. Should be cool. Should be cool. And what I have worked on so far is just a Python script, headless. So it's just all command line, which should theoretically work on any operating system, right? I own almost no Apple products. I have an iPad, but it's from work, which I'll sometimes use. The only reason they gave it to me is because when COVID hit and everyone went to Zoom, I had to help people get oriented with Zoom, and many people had iPads, so they gave me an iPad so I can learn it. So that iPad is very old now. It's like 7 years old now. 6 years old? 2020? Yeah. 6 years old. I couldn't even tell you what kind of iPad I have. I think it's an iPad rectangle. Oh, then you can really do some really cool outreach with those iPads. Set up a C Star outside, connect one as the controller, and set up the other ones as like viewers, and let people look at what you're imaging. I thought about getting a second iPad because for outreach, I have multiple smart scopes and I want to set up multiples. And on the iPad, at least with the C Stars, it's really hard to switch from one device to the other because I have to switch the Wi-Fi, and I didn't want to do that. So when I do outreach with multiple smart scopes now, I'll have my iPad and my phone with the other one. There's someone in your club that does something similar to what you described. Oh, nice. Yeah, yeah. That's the only way I've done it. The first time I actually tried just switching the Wi-Fi back and forth on my iPad, and it was just a pain because every switch takes like 15 seconds, 20 seconds. And sometimes it won't reconnect back to the old one. So then I started using my phone, but I don't want to give people my phone, when they're online and other people are asking me questions. Yeah. And that's also basically how I live stream from the C Star. So if you look at some of my older live streams from the C Star, it's um, doing it on the iPad and then screencasting it onto a computer. Paul sent a screenshot on Discord. Let's see. Ooh, I see it. Ooh, that looks cool, Paul. Live from Caesar, live from ASI Air, live from Folder Nina. That's cool. Would this I know you're working on this with Swift, right? So this is Mac only. Would this ever be ported to Windows? Because it looks really cool. See, I got another message. Oh no, he said. Yeah, it looks really cool, Paul. Cool. Looking forward to that. Ooh, I can show you. It's daytime in South Africa, so I'll pull up the one of the observatory cameras. And you can see what the observatory looks like during the day from the outside. There we go. It is 8:30 a.m. now. They are building at least one other observatory. That one is going to be much bigger than this, because when they set this up, they didn't realize how popular it would be, so they sold out really fast. But it should be like near. I don't know what side it's going to be on, but one of these. And I also did order a remote, not remote. What am I saying? I ordered an all sky cam here too, so I should have this view from two different observatories. I'm hoping it goes live before the Perseids start, which should be cool. Can I see Perseids from the southern hemisphere? I should have looked that up first. Oh no, I don't think I can see Perseus. Perseus is okay, so I won't be able to really see the Perseids from South Africa, sadly. Yeah, let me show you what I'm looking at. So the Perseids are going to be here, and then if I open up this thing, so like from 6:15 p.m., you can see that it's just below the horizon at all times. Sad, but maybe I'll see some stuff this way, so we'll see. Well, a lot more chat while I was just looking in. You stack with my OSC serial script. Cool. I'm glad to hear that. That one is fairly stable. There's a couple of pull requests for it, so that I need to find time to test and push out to beta testing. Luca Manico hard at work on his Astro Wizard, which is decent too for ease. Yeah. Right now, it isn't even risen when you first go outside. Hello from China. Hello. Queve is doing Australia. Yep. Any idea when what they charge for a pier in SA in South Africa? I saw that the pricing is on the Australia that Queve covered, and it looked reasonable. Yes. Let's go to their website. It's gonna be here. There we go. So rental plans here. And they did, Sean and Peter that I interviewed a few weeks ago on my channel did go over the pricing. So they do offer some massive discounts. Hosting plans. Are you thinking about sending something? Yeah, so here are their rates. So far, as far as I can see, they have the best C start here at $90 a month. Their tier 1 is also really cheap at $145. At Death Valley, I'm paying $200. So Kamma is actually, I think they're undercharging. Don't tell them I said that. I may have told them I said that. You may fly for 2 hours to find clear skies. That's cool. Hey, Fabian. You made your reservation fee to Kamma last week for their second building that will become operation beginning of next year. Cool. Awesome. Yeah, you'll enjoy it there. We started our rental there in February, so it's a really nice time to start. By the way, does anyone here finding sea star Observatory Pro having a white stripe on the bottom, like like a sensor glow? Ooh, I have not seen that. Are you in the Discord? If you are, you want to post a screenshot. Maybe somebody has seen it. Not cool, hot. Autofocus. All targets and within the lens hood too. Ooh. Yeah, I'm not sure. You might have to reach out to ZWO and ask, but if you're on the Discord, feel free to post a screenshot and see if anyone else have seen this. I haven't with any of mine. A monthly sea star pair would be kind of cool. Yeah, I mean, people there have gotten some amazing photos with sea stars. With no light pollution. It's pretty cool. In winter, it was working fine, but I suspect during warmer periods, it's an amp glow. That would be strange. We could try taking the dark calibration. It's not dark frames. I think it's called dark correction. If you look at your settings, you should be able to take some new dark correction data. So that might help. Hey, inland sea views. Use the Sea Star Observatory Pro at Starfront and it's fine. Yeah, like I've seen some amazing images from Border 1 and the Sea Star. Yeah, I want to try the S50 Pro. I'm curious what sensors they're going to put in it. Yeah, it's confirmed. I talked to them about it at NEAF in April, so they did say it's coming out later this year or early next year. So we'll see. But you tried the dark calibration already and it didn't work? That is strange. Well, the two things you can try is you can wait until winter and see if that helps, um, or put your Sea Star in the fridge, let it get cold, and then try it. Take a random frame and then see if you see the white glow on the bottom. Because if you still see it, then it could be amp glow. It could also be that maybe something got damaged and it's amp glow because something is leaking, so it's like light leak, uh, which I guess amp glow kind of is. You've been thinking about sending your main rig to an observatory, but your 3 nanometer filters are giving you such great results from your Garden Portal 5 in the UK. Yeah, it's hard, right? You just have to start. Then you have to start paying a monthly fee, and then you have separation anxiety disorder with your rig, especially with some really nice 3 nanometer filters. It would be nice if they released one with cooling, and that would be pretty cool. I am testing the Arc Blue, which is kind of like a smart telescope, but you switch out your lenses and it has built-in cooling, so that's kind of cool. And it's a full frame sensor, which has been neat. This is my first full frame sensor camera that I've tested. But you would not get a CEO interview where he showed it to you. Yeah, no. I was supposed to interview Sam during NEAF in 2025, so last year. They canceled on me last minute. because I think they had a bigger fish available to interview him. And then this year, I didn't even bother. I didn't try. I'm like, I was a speaker at a NEAC, which was good, and I didn't want to spend too much time making content anyway. I just wanted to hang out. You go from Bortle 6.3 to 5.4, the 15-minute drive. That's a nice drop. You also need a new filter wheel and filters to go remote. Yes, you need filter wheel, filters. If you haven't, Paul, if you haven't seen my video on Death Valley Observatories, I go over all the parts I had to send down. So if you want to watch and see what I sent down, that might help you figure out what you need. You may have seen it, but I'll link to it anyway. And then once you're ready, I've got referral links for you. Ha 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 ha. You can't wait until 3 nanometer dual band filters arrive. They do exist. So a 3.5 until you're 3. Oh, wait, I read that wrong. You can't wait until 3.5 nanometer dual nanometer filters arrive. So you already ordered them. Cool. Awesome. Your L Ultimate is great on SATA. Yeah, the L Ultimate should be good too. The 3 nanometers. You know what you need, you just forgot. Yeah. It's late. It's time to forget. You signed up for the S30 Pro at Starfront preemptively, hoping to get an S50 Pro as a rental. Cool. You're an early user of C-Star, and the improvements should be considerable. Yeah, I agree. You just got the L quad enhanced. That's right. You said that yesterday. Cool. Hoping it's good. All right. Good night, Beverly. Thanks for hanging out. You'll turn a recommendation to C-Star to add an AVSO automated photometry software suite. Ooh, I like that idea. Yeah, some people have been doing photometry with C-Stars, which is interesting because normally you need photometric filters, but I'm sure good calibration with SBCC helps. The Altair combo. That's right. I think you mentioned that. Yeah, yeah. They make good filters. Sent to the Discord already. Yeah, let me look. Yeah, when I'm live streaming, my Discord gets muted so that you don't keep hearing the pings. Oh yeah, that does. How long are these exposures, Lubo? Because I wonder if it's like field rotation. Are you in equatorial mode or alt as mode? Because these could be just field rotation artifacts. That's my guess. Not sure. You just bought the L Ultimate for your Red Cat 51. Nice. The best way to get the highest quality out of C-Stars is mosaics. Yeah, I love mosaics. Like if you know me, like the scripts came out because I wanted to do mosaics more easily. 30 in EQ mode. Okay, so if it's an equatorial, then it can't be field rotation. Yeah, I don't know. You didn't? Did your C-Star ever like drop or get hit or something? I wonder if something like came loose on the inside, and it's amp glow slash light leak. Because you said it happens when you're taking darks as well. C-Star support is pretty awesome. Yeah, you should try that as well. Yeah, send them some screenshots and see what they say. I wonder if there's a difference between Chinese and export version. Probably, but who knows? I don't know. It would probably be harder for them to deviate from the same factory design. But since you said it used to work in the wintertime and it doesn't work now, that could be something completely different. I don't know. We're just assuming at this point, but someone from C-Star, like ImageX says, could help. All right, thanks for joining, Lubo. Have a good one. Yeah, I see the banding too. Yeah, it's interesting. I wonder where that's from. That could be, I don't know if that's stacking artifacts or maybe he stacked in some bad data. I don't know. Hard to tell. Cool. Inland sea views. Good to hear that their support has been good for you. I know Beverly left, but she just had some good experience with them too, figuring out a firmware issue with their 2600 MC Air. Right, C-Star support is persistent and helping like nothing you've seen before. That's great. What are the targets for tonight? For me, it is what's that thing? What is that thing? That is all Milky Way. You're talking about this thing? Yes, this is the Milky Way. Here's another view from another observatory camera. So it's over here. This is the moon. Super bright. Going back to inland sea views, a target for tonight. So right now, what I'm imaging is a section of my M8, M20 mosaic. So it's this area. So, I have M8 here, M20 here. So this is doing this area here where there's some nebulosity, NGC 2559, is that what it is? 6559. Once that's done, it's going to switch over to the M20 area and then this one. And I just finished some of Blue Horsehead Nebula. Let's look at it in green. Yeah, so like it's really hard to see in monochrome because it's just dust and reflection nebulae, but I'm hoping it turns out nicely. And then after this is done, it's going to switch over to M16 for a little bit, for about an hour. Yeah, which should be fun, but I don't think I'm going to be at this on this stream for that to happen, sadly. And then it's going to finish off with Cygnus. That's the imaging plan tonight. What is the thing on a webcam? Damn, yeah, it's a 60-second exposure. So if I go here, it's a 60-second exposure. I'm using 230 gain, which is more than double the Unity gain, because I don't really care about the pixel data here. I just want to see what I see. Yeah, and what you missed earlier was I was also streaming from the Southern Hemisphere. So we were looking at Orion from the Kagga Kamma Remote Observatory earlier in the evening, which was nice. So this is the Sulfur 2 filter in Orion. This is the full view. With that said, I'm going to say that in 5 minutes, the stream is going to be going for 3 hours. So it's my longest live stream this year so far. Not going to be the longest ever, because somehow I did like 5.5 hours one day. It will be, so I'm going to keep this going for another 15 minutes, and then I'll close the stream. Just want to say a huge thanks to everyone for hanging out tonight. It's always fun. This was 2 nights of streaming in a row. I am going to stream again at the latest on August 6th at midnight Eastern Time, so the evening of August 5th. It'll be for the Stand Up to Cancer charity. Like any ad revenue I make for 10 days is going to go straight to the charity. So I'll post that in the chat again, so people have it. It's just an event link to, where is it? Where am I? I lost my, there we go. Lost my window. Thanks, Imagex. I'm glad to hear that. I enjoyed the streams too. I am starting to slur. I've been awake since 7 a.m. I went to bed yesterday at 3:30 a.m. Woke up at 7, and now it's 3 a.m. for me almost. All right, the link I just posted is to the Discord event. It'll be streamed on YouTube, not on Discord, but the event is just there as like a reminder for folks. And I'll try and go as long as I can that evening, but it'll be for the Stand Up to Cancer charity drive. I'll probably try and do like 2 within the 10 days that it's up. It's kind of crazy. I can actually plan live streams ahead of time because of the weather at Death Valley. I've never been able to do that before. You're wide awake. Wait, you just took your took your Ambien. Might have to go ride in a nice Sunday weather tomorrow, and then go shoot Astral all night long. That sounds amazing. I am under clouds for the foreseeable future here. So tomorrow night I will not live stream. I have to force myself to finish my video on this, which is the HDR solar eclipse processing video. I have to edit and record a little bit more. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for joining. Hope you have a good night. Don't look at your bank account. Clear skies for your dark side tomorrow. That's cool. In Missouri. Let me look at my forecast. Cloudy for me tomorrow. Cloudy for me Monday. Possible clear skies Tuesday. So we'll see. I won't hold my breath. I always have Death Valley. But earlier I was showing here, this is the forecast of Death Valley for the next however many days. So Sunday isn't even on here. Hold on, let me refresh. Yeah, Sunday isn't even on here. So I guess this is the Sunday forecast, but it's clear tomorrow. Yeah, here it is. It's clear, completely clear tomorrow. Clear Monday, clear Tuesday, all the way until the 11th, which is Tuesday. And it's only cloudy because that's when the Perseids are peaking. Yeah, join us on Discord. It's gotten pretty busy in there. I have to say that I've been having a hard time keeping up with a lot of the conversations, which has been pretty cool to see. I'm sure I missed stuff. Cedar Hill, Missouri weather. Let's see, Cedar Hill. Alrighty. All right, clear tomorrow, clear Tuesday, Wednesday. Wow, we've got some clear skies coming up. That's cool. That's cool. I want to see if I can catch a jet from the accretion disk in the Trifid Nebula. That. Good luck. I think you can, depending on how big of a telescope you have. I have been imaging Trifid with this rig for a little bit. I don't think I can see that. Let me open up one of those subs, actually. Let's take a look together while I'm still here. 20. All right, this is at 609 millimeter focal length. What telescope are you working with? I mean, obviously this isn't processed, but this is the area here, so it should be shooting this way. You don't get a lot of time to shoot. What should you shoot tomorrow with the 71F? I know you could shoot the Elephant's Trunk Nebula. Have you tried that yet? You could also try for the Flying Dragon Nebula, which is also in that direction. If you can see the southern skies, then definitely try for M16. If you haven't, there's also M17, which is super bright. You could try for this region, M20 and M8, which is over here. Lots of things to shoot in the sky this time of year. Hey, Blue Neptune. Nice. Looks like apochromatic scope, no lines. I mean, it's also a monochrome sensor. I'm not really expecting to see any kind of chroma here. Can you see chroma in mono sensors? Yeah, monochrome sensors from non-apochromatic telescopes. I will say my brain is shutting down, so I am actually in 10 minutes. I am actually gonna just shut down and go straight to bed. Yeah, the Pillars of Creation should be nice. Let me give you a preview of what that looks like, because I did shoot it from this observatory. I need to download the file, actually. Give me 1 second. Let me orient myself. Yep. Here we go. Right, downloading the file. All right, here's the pillars from Death Valley Observatories. There we go. I mean, like really zoomed in. This is H alpha. You have M16, not with the 71F though. Yeah, I actually have not shot M16 with the 71F either. First time with the 91F here. I'm still shooting fits even with remote, larger file size than lossless compressed XISF. Yeah, I mean, can Nina save XISF files? I've just been like on my default. Fits. Oh yeah, I guess it can do XISF. Yeah, TIFF and fits and XISF. Yeah, I usually just shoot fits. If I switch to XISF, I'll have to update my scripts to read XISF, huh? Maybe I should try it out. See if I can save some space with XISF. 91F APS-C, correct. Yes, that's what this is. I'm using an ATR 2600 IMX 571 sensor on monochrome. Thanks, Magus. That's good to know. Yeah, I'll say it's been a long time since I've actually looked at the save image as, because the last time I looked at this, I only remember TIFF and fits, and then I never really looked away from fits. But good to know it can save this. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to update my scripts for sure, and then I'll have to make sure that it works with both fits and XISF. That should be interesting. Yeah, fits is the standard, but you know, XISF has been, I think it was developed by PixInsight. It's a great format. No, I know serial handles. I'm fine. It's my scripts, my stacking scripts. Yeah, serial can do XISF, but my scripts are only coded to do fits. It can do fits, FTS, and their compressed counterparts, but not XISF. My monochrome script can do XISF calibration frames, which come out of PixInsight, but not single frames. So that's what I have to change. Yeah, that's your next comment. I missed that. Yeah, then my scripts would extension directly. I guess it's not that the scripts use the extension directly. It's when I have to read the files, I have to specify the possible extensions and also include the libraries that can read the extensions. So my monochrome script, it'll be easier than the other two because I'm not really looking for. I'm not including any libraries that could read XISF out of the box. Hey Ninjaker, are we doing live stacking or manual? I'm not doing any stacking at all. This is just a single exposure, 10 minutes of an area near the Trifid Nebula. What do you have when filter wheel jams up? So that only happened once because my filter glasses fell off, and that's a support ticket to Death Valley, and then they'll have a tech look at it, basically. It's at the end of the pillars at 4 o'clock. What am I looking for? Sorry, I may have gotten lost in the comments. This is off topic, but I have a pair of Reno 4 Air 4 Pro XR glasses. Shooting Astro is cool with them, like 200 HDR screen. Oh, that's cool. Those are cool. Yeah, I feel like that would be helpful for like solar imaging. Protect your eyes. Easier to see the screen. Yeah, 200 inch, yeah. You'll have to know when you use the double quotes in astronomy, that's arc seconds. So when you wrote 200 inch, I read it as 200 arc second HDR screen. That's huge. Yeah, I'm looking them up now. Yeah, and they're AR glasses. Yeah, that's just super cool. We are living in the future. The future. All right, everybody. There's 4 minutes left for the stream. I am just gonna say huge thanks to everyone again for joining. It's a 3+ hour live stream. It's been fun. Again, no live stream tomorrow, even if it's clear, because I need to edit my video on this thing because we have an eclipse coming up. Yeah, $250 isn't bad. I'm just looking them up now. I think I saw it for $299, but maybe there was a lesser version. No, my goodness. The expensive ones for Batman, Joker ones. That's good to know. Yeah, I'll have to. I'll look at these. I buy so much gear, but like having AR glasses that are monitors, that would be super cool. That would actually save me from actually traveling with my portable monitors. Regular one on Amazon for $250. That's not bad. I have a birthday coming up. Maybe I'll ask for that. Thanks, Inland Sea Views. Thanks for joining. See you in the next one. What plate solver do I use? I'm not really impressed with ASTAP. I use PlateSolve 3. PlateSolve. I use PlateSolve 3. Super high quality screen, can turn 2D into 3D in real time. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm gonna look at that. Thanks for that idea, ImageX. Let me. I have a video on how to set up PlateSolve 3. I think it was so I did like a whole Nina video series, and I didn't like how it came out, so I never published any of it. But I may have a version with just PlaySolve 3. Let me see how to install PlaySolve 3. I do have it. Okay. Wait, is it on Patreon? Hold on, I'll get you a link. Since you are a Patreon patron. There is, it's a Patreon bonus video. Look at that. I don't have many of those, but I have this one for you. If you want to take a look at it. Okay, I'll put the link in the chat. So yeah, so for people who are members on YouTube, I have it on YouTube as well. Give me 1 second. How to install PlaySolve 3? Right, it is on YouTube. I am going to. Okay, I gotta watch it to make sure it's the same video, but people who are YouTube members, you should get a bonus video tomorrow on how to install PlaySolve 3 for anyone interested. But people on Patreon, you have access now. Yeah, I really like PlaySolve 3. It's super fast. It can handle basically all of the focal lengths that I've dealt with so far. I like ASTAP. It works well, but I find PlaySolve 3 better and faster. You'd also make a video series on pins and touch and stars, make a to-do list a bit longer. Yeah, those are all on my list. So I have a whole list of Nina topics to cover. I recorded, I think, like 40 hours of Nina material. And I did it all on this mini PC that I sent to Death Valley. That because my idea was like, starting from scratch. So I installed Nina from scratch and did all of that. And then I started editing it, and I got overwhelmed, and I actually didn't like how it came out, like, at all. So I decided to scrap it. I'm going to redo it all. Maybe get a new mini PC and do like chunks instead of trying to do like a whole series, and only do things that I think are necessary. Because I know Queeve and Patriot Astro, they have super in-depth videos on Nina, and I don't want to reinvent the wheel, but I'm just going to show you all the cool things that I think exist in this ecosystem. But yeah, I do want to show Nina. I think my Nina knowledge is fairly advanced. I don't know everything, but I know enough that I've been able to get myself started on 3 different remote telescopes, and also helped half a dozen other people get oriented with Nina and PhD 2, which feels good. Anyways, I'm gonna go off audio because I'm losing my brain, and then I'm gonna shut off the stream in 2 minutes. So again, huge thanks to everyone. Always awesome doing these.